How's it going, guys? My name is Erik Buell. Welcome to Better Bias. This is a show where we bring on artists, creative people, all sorts of people that you might not have heard of, but have really important things to say. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Also want to ask you guys before we start the show that you click like, subscribe, follow any button available to you because it really helps us out and it also costs you nothing. You're aware of that. You know it. Do it, please. Thank you very much. All right, now to start the show with our awesome guest, Andrew Pollock-Tape. We're going to roll the really fantastic credits. Mo, go for it, man. And we're back. We're back from the beautiful intro, and we're back with Andrew Pollock-Tape. Andrew, how's it going?
Hey, man. Hey, good. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. This is the podcast we've been dreaming of, man. This is the moment, man.
I know. It's actually incredible. I feel like it's weird that it's taken me this long to know someone who's doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's, and
now it's
34
us.
Years old and now it's us. Now it's our time. Another bunch of white online guys to throw on the pile.
Another victory for white men.
Yeah. Oh God, that's the worst of all victories.
How many people just clicked out of that?
Man. It's all of them. We're back the original number. You know how it goes. But yeah, dude, like I'm pretty amped to like just be, I guess, like talking into the ether a little bit.
We are in the ether.
I'm happy to actually actually this is a good excuse to have a conversation with you because like we talk a lot compared to other people that I know.
We talk more than
at the same time we don't get to catch up enough.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we talk more than I talk to
the majority of people I know.
Yeah, majority of other people. God bless the latency. Am I like cutting in on you right there?
Yeah. No, actually, your lag's fine. It's just my lag that's bad, apparently.
Okay, so you're in a storm.
Good. That seems better. That seems like a faster reaction. Yeah, it's not really a storm. It's just it's literally just a little bit windy and cloudy.
So
it's I live. Maybe I should explain where I live.
Yeah, explain. Hold on. So explain where you live. Explain why you live there and what's going on out in the zone, man.
Well, so basically, I'll try and do this without touching my face because that's what the coronavirus people are telling us.
That's right.
Don't touch your face to spread the disease.
Yeah.
But basically, 5 years ago, I moved to the southwest of France, to the Haute-Pyrénées department. So like right in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
To work with a honey company on different kinds of like honey fermentation. And I guess I've been living in the same place, in the same little tiny like village now for that entire time. I've not moved, and it's kind of got these little idiosyncrasies, such as weather-dependent internet.
Weather-dependent internet.
So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know how it goes. Yeah. But basically, I make a mead. I make a pétillant naturel mead called La Ruchive, but I work with a company called Pollock-Tape, which is a specialist in gentle beekeeping.
Okay. I love how you just mentioned the gentleness factor.
Well, it's actually, I mean, like I feel like every time I have to every time I mention the honey company, I do have to mention the actual full title of the beekeeping method because it was trademarked, I think. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's I think it's actually there's an actual methodology behind it, right? Like there's all of these different in French. I don't even know the word like the translation anymore in English. It's awful, but a cahier de charge, like a rule book, a list of rules and regulations that beekeepers need to follow to get certified. In this sense, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Wait. And so, it's not just honey, right? It's all honey, but it's not just mead. It's also you guys have like a special project. Maybe we can talk about it. I don't know. Is there
which actually I gotta ask you which one because at this point like
it starts with a K.
I feel like there's like a Oh, the kombucha.
Yeah,
Oh, the kombucha.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah,
Or is it kind of like under wraps?
absolutely, we can talk about it. No,
Okay.
no. It's not under wraps. It's just I've been making a kombucha in small batches. It's actually we have one placement for it right now. Basically, everything that I do, every single last thing is the same concept as like a nano brewery. I do like batches of like 100 liters of stuff.
Right.
And we find like very selective places to kind of get it positioned. So this kombucha, for the moment, it's only available from our stores and from this cafe called Deus Ex Machina in Biarritz. Which is really, really nice.
Yeah,
it's like a motorcycle surf ambiance cafe near the old town.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've got it. But basically, I've just been doing these like honey-based kombuchas, trying to use the bacteria that's like in fermented honey as a way of fermenting the kombucha itself and adding like different flavors and stuff.
Right. So you actually go around and you talk to the people in the office and you say, all right, move the hive closer to some like hydrangeas, please.
It's okay. So
what does it look like?
The gentle beekeeping thing, it's like, it's very much based around
the farmers.
That's like, it's kind of like that, but it's like the inverse principle. Like rather than moving the hives to a place, we try and make spaces like the apiaries be in areas, or like improve the areas that the apiaries are in, to be just more bee friendly, to encourage better health of the hives and stuff like that.
Okay.
As opposed to just kind of like, I don't know, chasing the flowers.
Okay.
I guess,
that's what I pictured in my head.
That's usually what beekeeping is. That's usually, but I mean, like, I don't do any of it. I just take like the the already fermented honey and make it more fermented, basically. You know?
Yeah.
So.
And were you using honey in your? You were saying that you were making like some cool roast today. You were doing like a what was it called? Marinade.
I did. Yeah. It's actually ending up because I put like a bunch of random stuff in it and ended up tasting like Chinese barbecue pork. So I'm not unhappy about it, but it's not fermented, and it's definitely cooked, which is something that's not really good to. It's not really good to do to the honey, I find, if you want to make a good fermented honey or a drink based on fermented honeys. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's because basically, like, you know, when you cook a honey, it becomes caramelized. You get those like kind of like astringent cooked sugar flavors, and it loses any sort of like. Yeah. You lose you lose the delicacy of it all.
Oh, okay. And well, great. So I think that covers kind of like at least the foundation, right? Or like, I don't know if we got to get Remy on the show too at some point. Like maybe you guys can find some better Wi-Fi one day and call in.
I would love to. I mean, like, honestly, I would actually just like to come up to Paris and see you. That would be just. I mean, I need to anyways. Because I need to go and actually put in some effort trying to like sell bottles of alcohol to people this year, man. Rather than like sitting around waiting for them to come to me, which works, but not really as quickly, I guess.
Okay. Well, yeah, dude. Well, then next time you're in the area, we definitely got to reserve a seat at the studio. By the way, little plug for you guys over here. The guys who are helping us out today, their names are Mo and Sarah. They run the studio Majorel here.
Hi, Mo. Hi, Sarah.
Andrew says hi. Sarah, do you have headphones? Okay. Well, it's okay. That was all your. That's the only personal. You're doing, I think.
Thank you for transmitting. Thank you for transmitting it. That's
she waved,
very
so
much appreciate it.
I'll transmit that back to you.
That's good.
But they're helping us out. It's been a huge help having a studio where I can actually talk and not worry about all the camera stuff and all the button pushing. It's kind of the dream come true. So anyways, shout out to them. And shout out to Remy, who's not here with us and who can hopefully join us too. Maybe at the next time that there's Remy
Ballo.
Yeah.
would be a much better choice to talk about beekeeping because he's actually done it. Like once he actually does it. Like I don't. I just get stung by bees.
Yeah.
I don't bother going near the hives very often. But he does it like all the time, and we did it actually quite a bit at the end of last year. Because we were getting a bunch of hives back and everything like that too. So it was kind of needed. But he also has been doing it since he was a kid, right? So it's like
it's a family thing.
Kind of his thing.
Yeah.
More than my thing. Yeah, it's definitely a family thing. It's definitely a family thing.
You know what happened on Facebook today is I was reminded of the time that you and I in Georgia went to the fashion show, the private fashion expo.
Because
What are their names again? What are those two people's names again?
It was my friends Renata Brena.
Yeah,
I probably butchered her pronunciation. And Hernan, and I can't remember his last name for the moment because I don't have him on Facebook.
Hernan, yeah,
but I love him.
Yeah, and it reminded me of all the other projects that you work on with other people that are I'm trying to find a way to like segue into your recent show, but you've done like some food shows, some gastronomique shit, man.
Performance gastronomique, yeah. Basically, it's weird. One of the lovely things about France. I'm originally from British Columbia, Canada, and one of the best things about France is that there's so much stuff you can find just kind of out in the backwoods. There's just a higher concentration. 60 million people
Russians.
In like a space that can fit well, they're everywhere too, right? So
apparently.
But no, I've been doing these dinners with this friend of mine his name's Pyotr Davichenko. He's an artist who a couple of years back he started a project where he was eating roadkill for quite a period of time. And just roadkill, and he finished that, and just recently he's segued into doing what he calls gastronomic performances, where essentially he creates like these kind of monstrosities, and then you eat it and you taste it and it's delicious, and like as you're cutting, like this, like the last one he did, like it was actually. Yeah, it was actually two lambs. Like,
it was very sad to watch, actually.
It was, it's like, okay, so he kept the skin on.
Yeah, he kept the skin on, man. It was very creepy. It was good, but creepy.
There's a picture on the Lagerchiv Instagram photo account. I think, God, I'm such an old man. The Instagram photo account. Basically he had these two lambs that he'd kind of sutured together into the statue. And then he cut it open and like served it. And it was like really weird because it's like quite horrifying. Like you think it's like these two full like lamb heads that have like their eyes cooked out and they're just like, And then like you like cut it open though. And it's like these perfect like lamb roasts that are just like served up, taste delicious, and people end up like kind of getting over this initial revulsion and ending on this note of like having eaten something like really delicious. And I mean, I'm sure I'm not describing his art like probably up to his standard because I'm very rough. I'm not a trained.
That's a rough description, but there's art to it, you know.
Yeah, there's definite art to it. It's not like he's not just doing some weird stuff, you know. You feel a movement through a variety of senses, and for me, that's kind of the mark of what art is, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's cool that you guys are involved with that, like the Lagerchiv projects always coincide with cool stuff.
Well, it's just, you know, I'm lucky to be in a place where there's not a lot of other things. And these guys, the group is called Apolitical. That's the larger collective that these guys are part of. But the foundry is what the center, I guess, the little location near where I work and where I.
Oh, right. Oh, wait. Are these the same dudes that are building the crazy bathhouse in Couteret?
That's them. Yeah, that's them. Couteret is just for people, I guess, that don't know what Couteret is.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, geez, you guys, come on.
It's kind of known in France though, so like I'm not crazy if you're saying it.
Is it? I feel like it must be like a little because it's a ski station, but like
it's like low key ski.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a little ski tourist town in the Pyrenees where there's like thermal water sources that had been known for their healing stuffs forever. And there were like at the high point there were like 8 or something different bathhouses in this place where people would go and like have different therapeutic baths. And slowly but surely they all like closed down. And
why did they close down?
There's not enough people doing thermal treatments. Like there was just different medicine. You didn't have to go, and I don't even know what they treated with like thermal waters. Was it like, it wasn't pneumonia, because that would be really bad, putting more like humidity into your lungs. But like, I must have been like, I feel like putting like more humidity into your lungs when it's already filled with water isn't like a good thing. Like, I feel like it needs to be like a dry heat, you know, like if you have pneumonia, you go to the desert. If you have like skin lesions or something, you go to like the thermal source. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, I don't know.
I feel, okay. Well, I thought that the bathhouse initially was for like what's it called? The idea in my head was literally anorexia. It's not that. It's it's like literally when your bones are stuck together, man. Like you got to loosen them up. It's like you got to. What's it called? Not carpal tunnel. It's
scoliosis.
No, that's a back like deformity.
I don't know, man.
What's it called, man? It's like I don't know.
When your bones fuse together, the disease that fuses your bones together.
Nah, it's not that, but it could be. I don't know. It's more like it's for the old
like
people.
Rheumatitis
Yeah,
or something?
osteoporosis.
Arthritis.
Arthritis
is like the loss of
arthritis. It's definitely arthritis.
I mean, yeah, totally. They would go to the sources for arthritis, but like,
and you've been there yourself.
Like there must have been more than that. Yeah, they still have they still have all of the old buildings, but they still have 2 actual thermal bathhouses running at the moment. One's more just kind of like a pool, but it's still really nice because it's all like warmed by the thermal water and yada yada yada. And the other one's like medical, and you have to take like an appointment and stuff like that. And I kind of want to like try. Maybe you need a doctor's note too. I kind of want to like try and get a doctor's note so I can go sometime. I'm getting my carte vitale.
Okay.
Finally.
Oh, so dude, I'm doing the same thing.
I can go and do that pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, coronavirus gets you moving.
I saw the coronavirus coming. I was like, it's time for the carte vitale. Yeah. It's a problem.
Yeah, it's time to do this. It's time to take advantage of this free, beautiful healthcare that France grants us for being residents.
But I want to tell you something.
Like, just like spitting in its face.
I want to tell you something. If you don't already have healthcare, you can go already and pick it up. You don't need the carte vitale.
No, I know. I was already registered. But it's like, I just don't want to like have to wait for all that stuff, you know? I don't want to like have to like, I didn't want to like pay up front. I wanted to be able to like go in, like flash my carte vitale and then like, you know, peace out.
And for those who don't know, the carte vitale is the magic French card that gives you all the money back that you could ever dream of on all of your health expenses and lots of other things. So it's,
It literally looks like a credit card that's like made to be your medical ID. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really cool feature.
It is a credit card, huh? Yeah. You kind of like swipe and like put in your thing. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I see like the swiping. There's so much. I mean, I need to start paying more attention to this country because like eventually I'll probably have to take a test to like, get like residency or citizenship or
you're
something
B1.
like that.
You're B1. You're set. You're good.
No. I mean, but it's like I still feel like I should try and like not just think of things as quirky mysteries here. You know, I should try to
What do you mean
understand
by
them.
quirky mysteries?
Well, like the little carte vital boxes in the pharmacy. Like, you ever go to the pharmacy and there's like a little like box where it's like, put your carte vital here.
Oh.
And it's like you can go and you put. And I've seen people putting it, and I still don't know what it does, what it gives them. I've just seen people like put the card in, and maybe I think they got like a ticket or something.
Oh,
but like I was really like, what is this? What is this magical pharmacy box?
I want to join that club.
Government ID in. I know, right? Like I want an ID for very random, mysterious boxes that I can just access.
Is Canada like that at all? Do you guys have the same thing?
Canada was different. Like, I didn't go to the doctor much. I almost like never went to the dentist because it cost money still. So that's not covered. Like dental stuff and like eye stuff aren't covered in Canada, which is really stupid because like you kind of need your eyes to like live. You kind of need your like teeth to eat. You kind of need to do to live.
Yeah.
So it's like I've always found it like the universal healthcare is a little bit lacking.
Yeah.
But basically, from what I remember, is you had just a number, and like then you'd like pay a very reduced fee, and I think like the doctor claims it's from the government or something like that. I don't know how it works.
Okay.
I never went to doctors.
You're glad to be out of there somewhat, aren't you?
I think, isn't it like everybody's like dream to kind of like either like rule where they live from, where they came from, or like live somewhere else, you know?
I think that's it. Yeah.
You either want to be like totally entrenched, like where you grew up, if you stay there. I definitely didn't feel like I fit in my hometown of Victoria.
I think you
BC,
fit in
Canada.
pretty well in Victoria, man. It's like an island, you know, and like kind of like.
I got buds, yeah, but like it was just like that was me hitting the table. Sorry.
It's okay.
No, I just like, I mean, it was it's a really awesome place, and I had a lot of good friends there, but like I just always had this like feeling of being put on an island. And when you have, because it's like I moved there when I was a kid, and like when I was like 3 years old, I didn't want to leave. I was born in Vancouver. I had like my cousin who's the same age as me, and then my parents, they took me when I was 3 and they put me on Vancouver Island, which is where I grew up. And I feel like that can forever just kind of infused me with this like, that's like, I need to get out of there. I need to escape without having any sort of like concrete way or idea to do it. It was just like this need to run away.
Okay.
And it got me here. So I'm not, it was pretty good feeling, I guess.
Yeah. My retreat was always, or like my runaway zone was always Mexico. But then Mexico was too sketchy when I was growing up. So never happened.
Is that even like, I mean, how far away is that? Like, it's not even like really, like you're from San Diego. So it's like, you're basically like San Diego should be Mexico, right? So it's like, you're just running further away into Mexico from your already Mexican hometown.
Yeah. And then like into a new language, into like the whole, like you have to go so far to get out of like poverty essentially too.
I guess that's true. I'm sure that, yeah. And I'm sure it's, I forget that San Diego, like
it's a divide,
historically,
man.
Yeah,
but it is the same climate. It is basically the same view, of the sea. I would say.
Yeah, same like aesthetic concept as like Baja.
Yeah, same beach town kind of thing. Same thing.
Yeah,
same old shit. Yeah. But
well, it's like it's kind of interesting. It's just kind of weird that in general, just going like that you wanted to escape too in that sense. Like you clearly didn't want to like you wanted to go a little bit further in Mexico, obviously.
Yeah, I wanted to go, dude. I was saying like for a long time that I wanted to go to Europe, and then the opportunity just kind of came up with meeting Hannah and everything, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
that works with my original plan. So why not? But it was kind of the same for you. You're like, yeah, you wanted to maybe go to Europe, right?
It was just, I mean, like Europe was, yeah, of course. I mean, I always wanted to go to Europe and stuff like that. But yeah, it was after a vacation year that I was able to come back and get settled and everything like that. So it's definitely kind of, I mean, you need to have that kind of bridge, I think, to escape a lot of times. It's like, there's like something weird about like doing the jump totally on your own is so difficult. Like I had a hard time just kind of like getting integrated into the systems in France. And I had like a huge help with Remy and his family and the honey company and everything like that, like being able to actually like...
They helped you out big time, man.
Yeah. They definitely were able to give me a hand.
Yeah.
You need to have support. You can't just like, I mean, you absolutely can, but it's like, but it's like so ridiculously hard.
Yeah,
and it's like, I totally understand like the desperation of, people trying to get across like borders and other ways.
Oh yeah.
It's like kind of, I can't imagine like how like stressful that is, and like how knowing like the feeling of wanting to be some other place super bad.
Yeah.
And in a sense of like, life and death is like a bit beyond my understanding and comprehension, but like I understand on the basic level, I wanted to get out.
Yeah.
And
now we're here.
Now we're in France. It's like we're in France just in time for the corona. I feel like I've seen like a lot in France. It's like the first year I got here, like the first November or whatever it was the attentat in Paris.
Yeah, that's right. It's terrible, man.
And it was so fucked up. It was in the countryside by myself. Me and his girlfriend were actually at like the stadium.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that story.
Yeah. And so I was just like sitting here being like, whoa, what the fuck? It was like, it gave me like real like 9/11 vibes. Like,
big time.
Went like nostalgia backed. Like, cause you were here at the same time too.
I was going out that night.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Seriously. Oh, sorry. Are we allowed to swear on this? I don't even know.
What was that?
Am I allowed to swear? I don't even know.
Yeah, we can swear. Yeah.
Okay.
Once we get the sponsors, then it's over though. We're gonna have to bleep you out.
Yeah, then it's over. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But like you would have been relatively just moved to Paris at that point, right?
I think we moved at the same time, actually. I moved in October. You might have been before, maybe.
I was in August. I got here in August of 2015.
Yeah, I was October.
But I wasn't in Paris. So I was the opposite side.
Yeah.
Country.
But it was totally like that. It was like a flashback to like second grade or first grade, whatever that was for me. And then I couldn't even watch Star Wars after that, man. That was so weird. I like the shooting.
Like specifically the the parts where they're in like the X-wings, they're going like through the buildings and like the starships crashing into the buildings.
There was a massacre at the beginning of Star Wars Episode 7 or something, and I couldn't watch it. I was like, oh God, like I'm really like sensitive to this now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It changed me, man.
It's really wild because it's like I'm old enough that I saw the Columbine massacre.
Oh, I remember that too.
Which was like it was like the most like messed up thing, I think, out of those three things.
Yeah.
Which are totally all like incredibly messed up on like different levels. I think it was like the way that they were able to like cover the stuff that went into the Columbine one that like really made it mess up. I was homesick from school. I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember like stuff like these like kids covered in blood getting like pulled out of like, windows and stuff like that. Because it was just live. It was live feed. And like just having this weird sense of like I was in like I didn't feel anything the entire time I was like watching it. Like it was happening while my mom was at work and I was home alone. And like the moment she came back, I started like crying because I was like, watching this like kind of like in a trance. And like, it was one of the most like, it was like the first time I guess I ever like felt like what Guy Debord would call the spectacle.
Yeah. Now we're going there. Yeah. And let me go with my Marilyn Manson joke. He's still out there.
Yeah.
Mo, can you run the intro one more time for us?
Oh my God.
I totally fucked up the timing of that. Go into Marilyn Manson, but even better, the sorcery of the spectacle. We're not sorcerers. We're not spectators. Well, we're very much spectators, maybe. But
we're definitely spectators. We're definitely spectators. But we're not the spectacle.
We're not the spectacle. Well, we could be, perhaps.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, it's really funny. It was really funny. We found that, just for a bit of background, Eric and I found this subreddit called Sorcery of the Spectacle. I know, but I like to put you, I don't like to take.
Oh, I'm part of the problem here.
You're part of the problem too, it's, no, like, basically it's this weird synthesis of like all this weird, like postmodern stuff.
Yeah.
Those postmodern, like Guy Debord and like, Deleuze and Guattari, all these like kind of, like they were kind of like, it was almost like trendy philosophers.
Right.
When I was in like my, like, yeah. Because it's like a lot of the stuff they talk about on it is like tied to postmodern philosophy, for a lack of a more specific term. I'm definitely not a scholar. Definitely not a scholar. Just somebody who read a few of these books in my early 20s, because it was like,
you read a lot.
It was. I used to. I don't read as much as I used to anymore, though. It sucks. I like.
We went book shopping when you came out here like a few years ago. Come on, you read.
Yeah, but that was also because it was like I do, but it's like I don't like when I was living in Vancouver, I read all the time. I always wanted to talk about books, blah blah blah. I was a very like book nerd guy, and like now I don't know. I originally slowed down because I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to find like more English language books easily, even though Amazon exists.
Well, and you got the girl too, right? That was enough too to stop the that also is like a huge part of it. Like definitely, like reading is definitely something that you do to like base yourself in like romantic light. That's right.
But go to the bar. You just go a guy with a book at the bar. You
were on course to becoming the writer, but then maybe you found the girl before you became the writer, and then you became the brewer.
I don't know. I mean, like I only ever like kind of like writing stuff that's, it's like, I like writing stuff that's the same, in the same sense that I like reading stuff. I really appreciate like short, intense bursts. Yeah. Like I read this really cool, I did actually read one book. I've read one book already this year.
Hey, oh, that's really good, man. Better than me.
So that's not good. It's not a long book, but it's called We, and I forgot the guy's name because it's a Russian name, and you figure that I'd be good at remembering Russian names.
By now you should be.
But I know it's like
all your Russian friends.
But it's like an author that's totally unknown. It's not like somebody who wrote stuff, and it's a satire of like the rational society. The guy was like a dissident in the early Soviet era. And he wrote this.
Did we lose him? I think we lost Andrew. He's talking in reality, in the physical reality somewhere. He's going to come back to us probably any moment. I'm going to proceed and click on this computer because we were anticipating this to happen at some point because, again, mind you, if you already skipped ahead, Andrew is in the middle of a windstorm in the south of France. Welcome to my Facebook. Let's give Andrew another call again. Let's see what happens. When we call Andrew, no, we're not going to translate. Yes, we're going to expand the page with the arrows, Mo. Let's see if we get him. Andrew normally is the one that's supposed to call us to get the better connection. Worst case scenario, we're going to maybe cut the show short, open up a Skype sesh, give him a ring. Andrew's not responding. I'm betting that it's the battery. He would pick up by now. Well, oh, hey!
Hey, sorry.
I was literally hanging up on you. And then you popped up. That's great.
I was trying to call you back at the same time, and then I couldn't close one of the other window to get to your call, and
Okay. No worries, man. We were very scared there, but you were talking about a man who has a book about a satire on society, like
It's called We. The book's called We. The book's called We.
On sane society, on rational.
Soviet rational society. It was a satire of the Soviet man, which was like this concept of the hyper rational worker intellectual who could do and accomplish anything in pursuit of like the higher communist goal.
There you go.
And basically, like this guy, from what I understand in the brief biography that was in the preface, he didn't like that. And then also in the book also reveals that he didn't like that. He found it very stifling.
There you go.
And so yeah, it's but it was like very. It was very weird because
it's confirmational, right?
It was psychedelic. It was psychedelic, and that was like the weird thing. Like it had this weird, like the guy like starts and it's very mathematic. Like the way these like talking, describing things, talking about like angles and like time and like just number stuff basically. Mm-hmm. And then slowly but surely, it's like he feels like he doesn't ever like. He doesn't talk about it. There's no exposition where he's like, oh my God, I feel things differently. But like the way that this guy writes, he just starts adding like different psychedelic kind of elements to it. Like it starts off, the guy's gets in like a fever dream, and then he just kind of like runs with all of these like different kind of metaphors of like color and shape that are still mathematical. But like the psychedelic, like unrational side. It's a really well written book. I found it really, really well written.
You keep using the word psychedelic, so now I have a completely different picture in my head about what this book's like. So maybe I should go check it out. Do you recommend it, or is it kind of too psychedelic?
I totally will. It's not too psychedelic. Like it's comprehensible. It's always comprehensible. But it's more like the way that he describes things. It's psychedelic, becomes more psychedelic. But yeah, definitely would. I mean, like I'm a leftist. I like communism for the most part.
You're my favorite. You're my favorite, like left wing man. Like I think I think it's funny too because I think you tend to go into like the void for fun, and so do I. So I think that's how we like relate,
I definitely see that being like a part of the kindred spiritship here. The weird kind of plunging into. It's like I just want like at the end of the day, I just want like a world where like everybody has what they need.
Yeah.
And nobody has like indeterminate power over my between.
I agree with all that.
Like it being like without it being some sort of appreciated compromise, and I think like it's fun to like it's fun to kind of like go into like the doomer shit a little bit. Like
it's not always doomer between us though.
No, it's true. I mean, like I definitely actually one of the things that I see on the internet right now, which is really kind of cool, is like how the left is actually starting to tangibly organize and kind of collect itself.
I hope so.
Internet.
Yeah.
Well, it's like again, it's just like look at the Bernie Sanders stuff. It's like look at the chat. Actually,
I don't know anything about all that stuff though. I try to stay like out of it, man. Like I don't want to be on a side, man. I want to be in the void.
Because you're an American.
Maybe.
You're an American, and like, there's no like, it's like, out of all the people in the world, I don't think any group rejects the responsibility of government more, from both like a personal and an objective, like, kind of philosophical level, as like Americans.
Yeah,
they seem the most like, I mean, like it makes sense, but it's also like kind of insane, you know?
in what in what sense that we want, hold on, I'm kind of lost there. So what were you accusing me of altogether?
It's like, I'm accusing you,
because now I kind of want to fight you. Hold on.
Yes, it's fair. I was just trying to like throw a little bit of a jab, but no,
I just realized I'm under the bus, so I want to make sure I know which bus.
Well, it just seems like Americans just don't want to be burdened with government in like every sense, like not just the sense of like taxes or whatever, but it's like a lot of times it's like, I just don't fucking want to deal with politics. Oh, that's totally
me, man. Yeah, I don't want it's too much. It's too much, but you know what? Like, then there is that side of me that really wants justice for people who deserve justice, including myself, right? So like, there's a part of me that's like, oh, I want to get in it. I want to understand it. And then there's a part of me that's like, dude, like, the system is so, it's become a spectacle, man. You know?
I mean, everything is, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I feel like with politics, as long as you have like that good instinct, like if you literally just want like everybody to like have everything that they need, and be looked after either like through their own power or through the power of community or whatever, it's like, you know, that's a good base. If you're apolitical, that's probably like the best case scenario, really, if you're political.
I think that's all anyone wants, right? I don't know, like,
I feel like there's like an integral part of certain people that want to be political and feel like an integral need to be political because of how they view or react to human relations, basically, I think. And I like the French I don't see quite so disengaged as like Canadians or Americans, because it's like I said Americans, but Canadians are totally the same way about our politics, it seems.
I feel like there is a very strong bond, but perhaps like Canadians do have, I mean, I don't know. You guys have a different system, so there's a different relationship for sure.
We have a different system and stuff like that, but we still have this desire to not be burdened with government, to be burdened with politics. There's like the vast majority of like normal people in Canada would rather just be like, I want to never hear about any of this again, as long as I like voted and nothing. If I didn't have to vote, but like nothing bad would happen to me or people I know ever again, I would totally give my right to vote. That's like the sense that I get with Canadians. I mean, I'm basing it a lot off my brother and his friends, who I love. Shout out Ian, I love you. But
wherever you are, man.
But he's in Geneva right now.
Ooh, actually. Dude, he's nearby. Is he gonna drop by?
Well, no, I saw him already.
Oh.
We went to like San Sebastian and everything.
No, you did it. So, you went to the old SS.
Yeah,
man.
we did. It's done.
That's not a good joke.
Yeah.
Mo, roll the intro. Hold on, Mo's rolling the intro.
That's how it works. Every time you roll the intro, it's like your tabula rasa. You know, your slate is wiped clean.
Yeah.
But it's confessional.
It's a confessional, man. You went to San Sebastian. Okay, hold on. So you went to San Sebastian. By the way, you were the one who helped me discover this place. It is the most magical place on earth.
It's getting more and more popular, but at the same time, like I feel like it's still not a huge like destination for like young people, which is both like a blessing and a curse a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Like It's I mean, like, sure, you don't like get to meet as many people when you're out there, but at the same time I feel like the tourism is also like a little bit more limited because it's like just like older people that like come in on like cruise ships and shit like that or something.
Oh really, dude? Sketchy now.
Or like,
can't do that now.
Yeah, it's well, yeah, you're not well. Not until like you know what? Actually, I had a realization today.
What was your realization?
It's like we're thinking about how insane all of this shit is right now with the coronavirus and like how like everybody's panicking. It's like just think about how much insanity is going to erupt when they release a vaccine for it and say people should get this vaccine. The fucking anti-vax crazy people are going to come out of the woodwork so much harder. There's going to be so much just nonsense going on. I'm kind of considering that'll be my point to delete Twitter is when there's a vaccine, basically.
I'm not anti-science or anti-vax at all. I don't take sides here in this argument either, but I do know that when I took a pill for the flu, I got messed up, man, like bad time. Like the medication was crazy.
But see, that's the thing. Like when I think it was when I was 12 again. No, I keep saying 12, but
everything happens when you're 12.
I feel like that's correct. I got like, no, it was
15 for conversation's sake.
Year after that. Yeah, let's say 13. Let's just change 13. It up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I got it was like hepatitis B vaccinations or something like that.
That's important. Yeah, you got to get that.
It's like one of the hepatitis vaccinations, and I got them, but every time I got them, I would break out in hives.
Yeah.
Like there was like something in them that I was allergic to.
Right.
And like the vaccination worked, but I got hives.
Right.
And so it's like, I understand that like, yeah, vaccines can like kind of fuck you up, but like, I think that's kind of like, they're more of like best case scenarios.
It's
right?
the price
like
you pay for something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like either you take this vaccination, you get a little fucked up,
yep,
or you take this vaccination, you get a lot fucked up, you know?
Right.
And that's when the whole autism arguments get into play and stuff like that, and why people are like latching onto them. But it's like the autism thing is just stupid. Like the amount of con artists. We live in a golden age of grifters. It's amazing.
Of drifters?
It's really amazing. Grifters. Grifters, the G. Grifting.
I thought you literally took drifters like and linked to autism, and I was like, wow, this is a moment in time. Like,
no, definitely not. That would be that's a grift too far.
But when you think about it, I think most drifters could be slightly autistic, or perhaps no. Maybe.
Most grifters or drifters? Or
drifters with a D.
Drifters or grifters?
Drifters.
Oh, no. Drifters. I mean, dude, I'd just say that most of them, I'd say most of them are like military veterans.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking more like train hopper kind of types, maybe. But
yeah, see, I don't think, I don't know if I'm
not a doctor.
I don't think that's like I don't think that's like a good environment for like people that have like sound sensitivities.
Yeah, not at all.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. So I'm gonna say probably no. But no, grifters, man. Grifters, like con
so what's
men,
a grifter?
like
con men.
Yeah, like the grift. Maybe like I feel like I'm out of the 1950s or something. I thought everybody used grifter.
That's a mobster. No, a con man.
That's like a little,
That's a different category. Sorry. Okay.
I don't know. It just seems like there's like a whole bunch of like a whole bunch of people that are talking about like
Grant Cardone types.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's a grifter.
It's weird. Yeah, it's like guys that, want to take your money but try and sell you a principle.
Yeah.
That they're clearly not following.
Right.
But like, it was weird though, because it's like, I guess I've been reading a lot more in the last 2 weeks than I have been recently, but I picked up this book that my friend gave me as a joke, actually, a while ago.
Another book recommendation.
It's
Here we
called
go.
Iron John.
Iron John.
Yeah, so it's not really a recommendation. It's not recommended.
Not a recommendation.
Not recommended. But no, it's more of like a cautionary tale. But at the same time, it provided some interesting contrast, because basically it was like written in like the 80s or the 90s or something like that, and it basically was using like Jungian like psychology and like classical studies and all this stuff to kind of like interpret a crisis in masculinity through this old myth called Iron John, about this like kid that runs off with this wild man or something like that. And I don't know, I've only read a little bit of it.
It sounds wild,
but it's interesting because it's like so much more positive than like the shit that you hear coming out of like, you know, like the angry white men
the internet.
Of the internet, you know?
Yeah. Gotta stay away from that.
If it wasn't such like an integral part of life, I would totally get off of it.
I agree. I said that once I got fired, once I got laid, I still can't decide what happened at that last gig. I got to tell you that story, by the way. Shout out to you fucking idiots.
I feel like you should do. Oh wait, there's an end. Okay, yeah, we'll talk.
I just looked at the camera. I said, "You fucking idiots." I got to clarify. That's like to the people who like last hired me. But well, I told myself once I got out of there, I was gonna pull a Conan moccasin and I was gonna get rid of my phone, or a Prince. I was gonna get rid of my phone, and that never happened. In fact, I'm on Instagram like 5 hours a day now. It's like the opposite happened.
Yeah,
it's like so bad.
Oh man, it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's just kind of, it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things. But it's like, that's the thing, right? Like it's always seems so hard for me to like find like positivity on the internet. Like it's like a really like it's like a spirit that is very like, it's like very hard to find.
Yeah.
You find it in like niche communities that are kind of closed, right? Like I think the majority of the internet use for me, it's like now I get just like talking to people back home. Like that's the importance and the joy in the internet.
Yeah.
That's it. And like everything else just seems so combative and so like, I mean, to be fair, I've also been sucked into like the hegemony of like major internet kind of like tent poles, you know? Like I have a hard time surfing the internet outside of Reddit. I want to get off Reddit.
Ooh, yeah.
Super bad. But like it's when I was younger, there was like this, do you remember Stumble Upon?
I'm trying to remember the logo. I know the name. Yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah.
It was like the thing where you clicked a button and it would like take you to a random thing, like a random internet page.
Right.
And you could like check boxes for like different topics and you just find different websites.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
That was the fucking most useful tool I think the internet has ever produced. Like for me as a person.
There's been so many useful tools. But the problem is that the tools they end up serving just kind of like a proof that they function well, and then they end up getting hijacked in order to like generate revenue. You know, it's like the YouTube suggestion thing. But it's true what you're saying, like about like positivity on the internet, and I find just like you mentioned, like positivity like within the community that I enter, or like just being a part of a community. I would say like there's like no general how do I verbalize all this? Basically just being a part of a community seems to be like the only source of happiness or positivity that the internet provides these days. You know, like I don't.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's interesting too, because it's like for me, like I'm not very like I'm enthusiastic on like kind of like a jokey way about things, but I never really super seriously like, you know, like a Beatlemania about anything, you know?
Yeah.
And And it's what's interesting to me is I find like the discourse on like these positive communities, it's almost like it's hard to, as like an outsider, it's hard to take seriously sometimes. Like it's like I'm thinking specifically of it was like the Tooth and Nail Records community that you put me into on Facebook.
Oh my gosh,
like,
yeah, Tooth and Nail.
It's fucking emo forever. I love even the Christian shit, even if I grew up atheist as fuck.
Right.
Whatever. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia.
Dude,
but,
Christian pop and rock and punk was just so it was commercial.
It was like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was totally interwoven. Like I'd say like a third of the bands on any given Warped Tour were like Christian leaning at the very least.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like publicly Christian leaning.
Yeah. That's actually something that I would love to talk about at a later date, because we actually kind of have to wrap up the show. We did the hour long, and I booked the studio for an hour.
Yeah, we did the time.
We did the time. Was it a crime? We got
did the crime time.
You had no bad jokes today. I had two. I got two intro things on me. But Andrew, give us one more thing that we have to go check out before we sign off here. About you specifically, if you want.
No, actually, no. I mean, like that. Me is fine. Ad La Rushiv is like the hashtag thing.
Yeah.
But I want to give a shout out. What I think is the best beer in France.
Ooh, let's do it.
It's Leffe, the best brewery in France.
Best brewery in France. Here we go. Bring it on.
It's called L'Effet Papillon. L'Effet Papillon in Marignac.
L'Effet Papillon. Like the fairy butterflies.
The butterfly effect. The butterfly effect.
Oh.
L'Effet.
Ah, l'Effet Papillon.
L'Effet Papillon. Yeah.
Got it.
And it's like, it's killer. It's the French touch of beer.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go check that out. We're gonna tag them in here. I'm sure they're gonna love that recommendation, and they're gonna look to you, and they're gonna hit you up. Hopefully, I'll be sending them an email really shortly. Andrew, thank you so much for your time, dude. Hopefully, we see a collaboration between you two very soon. L'Effet Papillon. What's the brewery called?
That's the brewery is L'Effet Papillon.
Oh, what's the best beer though? You said the beer.
All of it. All of their beers. Best. All of their beer is the best beer in France. They make the best of every beer in France.
I have to introduce you maybe next time to Michel. He does the brewing at Mont-Salève near the Mont Blanc. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
Really good beer.
Hell yeah.
Really good beer.
Well, maybe next time we can talk. Maybe we can try some beers. Talk some more beers next time.
Yeah, we need to drink some more crafty beers and do that cocktail run that you were talking about.
Yeah, that'd be a really good idea.
There we go. Hey guys, you were watching a discussion between me and Andrew Pollock-Tape. Go check him out. Andrew, thank you so much for your time, man. I'm trying to be as professional and not as awkward as I could be. I hope you appreciated that, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much. This is
no
too.
Sweat, man.
I need my fucking suit now to say all that. Yeah, okay.
Stoked that you're smashing that champagne bottle on the boat.
Okay, there we go. All right, with that image in our heads, Andrew, goodbye. Mo, take us away.